Hello, hello. How are my people doing? I look forward to seeing all your faces all month long. So thank you so much for coming into these sessions. We have a packed agenda for you today with some amazing speakers. So I'm going to jump right into it. Today is our February PC Power Hour, and we're going to be talking about building an entrepreneurial mindset and non-employment based opportunities. And we really want to focus on practical implications for your campus, right? So we don't want to talk totally theoretical. We want to make sure that we are giving you actual things that you can develop and implement on your campuses, right? And so let's jump right into the agenda. So we're going to kick it off with some updates on the relaunch of the PC Career Development Event Fund. We piloted the program last semester. We went through some hiccups, learned a few things, and we have now streamlined the process in order to make it even more effective for our partner colleges to be able to benefit and participate in this program. And we are going to be highlighting two of our partner colleges who did an amazing job last semester of collaborating and putting it together an event for their scholars on campus and providing them resources on non-employment based opportunities and entrepreneurship opportunities and development. So we will be talking to Texas A&M San Antonio and San Antonio College. And moreover, we will be actually hearing from one of their scholars who attended the event, who will also be able to speak on his experience of going through the event and how he benefited. From there, we will be passing it off to my partner in justice, Nicole Wesley, who is going to be talking about updates on the TheDream.Us internship and fellowship programs, and how you all can be involved and engaged in those programs as well. And we will be highlighting our partner college, Metropolitan State University of Denver, who is actually participating in both of these programs already. And they'll be able to talk a lot about how the programs are being implemented on their campuses and how they're providing these resources to their scholars. And again, in similar fashion, we will be hearing from two scholars from Metropolitan State University about how they're participating in these programs and how they're benefiting them in their career development and providing these opportunities to them. We will then have an open forum and give a quick peek at our next month PC Power Hour. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot of speakers, so I'm going to keep the train moving now. So for the Career Development Event Fund, as I mentioned, we did pilot the program last semester. We did have a couple of hiccups in sort of the processing process and wanted to, again, streamline it so that we could make it a little bit clearer, a little bit more efficient, and really get those payments out to our partner colleges vendors as soon as possible. So we're going to be working with two different options. Option one, for the colleges that can do this, and the college themselves will be able to pay for the event. And then they could cover all of the expenses. They would work with their vendors, cover all of the costs, and we would reimburse the colleges for the full cost of conducting the event. So this eliminates a little bit of the back and forth on the sort of front end of the process of us working with you and then reaching out to the vendors. If you have the resources available to do this on your campus, I know that most of you probably don't, but if you do, this will be a much cleaner process. We will not be able to reimburse individuals. We are only able to reimburse institutions, and this is just the way the system works. You will still need to work with your vendors, provide receipts for everything that is purchased for the event. We will need a W-9 and a direct deposit form for your institution in order to submit the reimbursement requests to you. The second option, which I think is probably going to be the most common option that people choose, is that the Dream.Us covers the expenses up front. A lot of the problems this year happened because we were getting payments that were having to be done at the front end, and then some that were being able to be done on the back end, and it became a very ad hoc process. So what we are going to be requesting is once partner colleges are approved for this request and this funding up to $2,000, we want the partner colleges to submit their invoices in advance of their event being held. And then I will be working with our amazing new colleague, Nicole Mejia, to make sure that we pay everything for the event before the event even happens. So that way everything is covered and you can go into your event knowing that all your vendors have been paid and all of your systems are basically good to go. There is one caveat to that is speakers is the only thing that we cannot pay just legally through the way our system works until after they have presented at the event. So all of your guest speakers, whether that be scholar panels or professional speakers, they will need to be paid after the event. So that's the one little bulk that of payments that we will save for after the events have concluded. But hopefully with this new process, we could avoid any delays in payments and really make sure that we're getting these funds to our partner colleges as soon as possible. For the process of us paying, just a couple of notes. Again, once you are approved, you will work with your vendors and then you can email me all of those invoices, which I in turn will work with Nicole on getting those paid so that your event is covered before it even happens. A couple of hiccups that we did hit up this past fall. We cannot cover travel, parking, because we are a nonprofit organization, there are a lot of rules on raffles, so we will not be covering raffles. Let me also clarify, while we cannot cover raffles, we are still doing giveaways. So if you have items, small items that you want to give out to all of your scholars attending, that is something that we can do, but we cannot do large items that only one or two people will win at these events. That is something that we cannot cover. We will still cover food, but we cannot cover catering services. So we cannot cover actual people serving the food at your event. But again, we will still be able to cover the food items that you want to have for your events. We will not be able to do gas or gift cards as those, again, cause more issues. And so we're trying to streamline the process. And so any requests of those will not be approved, but we will continue to take your requests and approve any items that are on your list that we can basically process. We will have a standard $150 fee for any scholars or alum that you are looking to have as part of your panel or as part of speakers for your events. And as mentioned, all speakers will be paid after the event has concluded, and we can confirm that they have actually presented on their session. So a quick recap, we did open this up last fall semester. We had an amazing start to the pilot program. We were able to approve 15 partner colleges to have events on their campuses. Of those 15, 2 were not able to do their events, but have actually rolled that over and will be conducting their events this spring. So we're super excited to see that also come to fruition. Of the 13 campuses that were able to do their events last year, we estimate over 500 scholars were able to attend these events and benefit from the resources and information that they were able to receive. And there was roughly 22,000 that was provided in funding just last semester. Now, these are okay numbers, right? They're okay rookie numbers, right? But we can do better. We want to do better. We want more people to be involved in these programs. We want to get the funding to you. We want to get the resources to students. So we are looking for this year to approve at least 30 campuses for this year. So if you haven't taken advantage of this funding yet, please submit your requests. We want to reach at least 1,000 scholars nationwide in these events and provide these resources. I've said it numerous times, like we could only do but so much. We know that you are all on the ground and that the resources that you provide in person to scholars and to students is so much more received and resonates with students closely because it's in person and they can engage and they can interact and they can network. So we want to make sure that we are doing what we can to be able to help you provide those opportunities on your campus, right? So let me know, like you guys all have my emails. If there's other ways that we can support you in making this easier for you to have these events on your campuses, shoot me an email, let me know what your thoughts are. We are always willing to work with our partner colleges in providing these support systems. So the link is now open. You can actually click on it right here. It will also go out in the PC Weekly tomorrow, and it will be on rotation in the PC Weekly. So if you ever down the line figure like you want to be able to do that, go to your PC Weekly. You'll see the blurb. The link will be there, and you'll be able to apply for these funds. In general, it's up to $2,000 for these events, and they must be focused on entrepreneurship or and or non-employment based opportunities. So if you're looking for now for the spring, if you're looking for the fall, if you're looking for doing something in the summer, like apply now and reserve the funds. We will be approving these requests on a rolling basis. And with that, I will like to introduce our amazing colleagues and our partner college spotlight for today. Kimberly Yanez from Texas AMA San Antonio, Melissa Flores Valencia from San Antonio College, and their scholar Obed from, again, Texas A&M, and they're going to talk about what they did last semester in using this fund.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Nanez, and I am the Executive Director of Student Success at A&M San Antonio, and I'm also the Program Manager for TheDream.Us. We're going to start off by just giving you some background to our institutions. A&M San Antonio is a quite new school. We were established as a standalone institution in 2009, but we were actually only offering upper division courses. So you had to have your associate's degree to come to us until 2016. In the fall of 2016, we became a four-year institution offering bachelor's and master's degrees to students. We currently have roughly 7,000 undergraduate and graduate students enrolled at A&M San Antonio, and over 70% of our students are first generation. We are also an HSI and MSI, and we roughly have 5% of our population are dreamers. So that's A&M San Antonio. I'll pass it over to Melissa to talk about San Antonio College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Flores Valencia. I'm San Antonio College Program Liaison for TheDream.Us. So San Antonio College has been around for a while, since 1925. We offer a variety of degrees, certificates, associates of arts, associates of science, and associates of teaching certificates. And most recently in 2021, we were approved to offer our first bachelor's degree in nursing. Nursing is one of our most popular degrees that our dreamers do choose. We have about 18,900 students who are enrolled, and about 45% are first generation. We are both HSI and MSI. I don't have really a good estimate of our dreamer population, but we do offer services for dreamers here at Alamo colleges. Next slide, Chris. So I think we're very fortunate here in San Antonio that we have both a community college and a university who are partner colleges, and Kim and I have worked really well together. So this really gave us an opportunity to collaborate, and we offered Stars Without Borders. We chose a Saturday just to kind of help with our different scholars and their availability. And we chose to have it at Texas A&M because a lot of our scholars from SAC do transfer to Texas A&M. So it was an opportunity for them to network with each other, but also to learn about Texas A&M. We were able to also share resources. So we, instead of our community resources and our career having two different events, they were able to have it on one day to serve both our populations. We had about 30 students who attended, a good portion from A&M in San Antonio. So this allowed, I think one of the things that I know our students always ask is why go for a degree, right? Why get an education? So then to be able to see others pursuing a higher degree, bachelor's degree, and then, even learning about master's and graduate programs. It was a great opportunity. And then also for the Texas A&M San Antonio students to also have an opportunity to network with our students and share the resources they have. For example, San Antonio College has a Dreamer Club, right? And so that really motivated some of the students at Texas A&M about establishing one. And just learning about what schools have to offer. As I said, a lot of San Antonio College students do transfer to Texas A&M, but we've had one or two who have transferred to SAC. And one of the things is because of our nursing program. And then if you can go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, so on our day, what we I think we all know is the strongest voice is the student voice, right? For students to be able to hear each other, meet each other. And so we started with a student panel, and we had representatives both from San Antonio College and from Texas A&M who were able to share their experience. Not all of our students have DACA, right? So a lot of them, they do have, they don't even, some have I-10 or they don't know how to about to go with for an I-10. So we had an I-10 workshop for them as well, and a resource and networking fair. On the picture, it shows our students meeting Texas A&M San Antonio's president. Texas A&M had a Jaguar Day, so our students were really were able to see you know, a student full of a campus full of activities. And one of the ambassadors from Texas A&M, I believe, is also a Dream.Us scholar. So they also have had an opportunity to learn about that and see that there's also opportunities for them to have employment in a different, you know, a different pathway. We ended it, and I think it was popular, was an etiquette dinner. And so both our San Antonio College Career Center and Texas A&M's May Career Center were also, you know, with us and partnered with us. And so Texas A&M San Antonio's I think director or coordinator, he's the one who led the etiquette dinner. And so he was able to kind of share, you know, the proper way, what's the importance of, and then our students, they were able to sit, you know, at different tables and network with each other. And then you can go ahead and go to the next one. And then I'll give it to Kim.
So every student also, as Chris was saying earlier, there were giveaways for students. And so some things we already had. We had drawstring bags, we had padfolios, we had pens, but we also were trying to think about what were we going to give the students in these bags that's career related. And so we had the padfolios, but we talked about a business card holder. You know, you go to career fairs, or you might have the etiquette dinner was also a time to learn about how do I act if I had like a lunch interview, like what do I do, right? When do I get up? When do I not get up? Those kinds of things. And so we wanted to make sure that when they go to maybe a lunch interview or they go to an interview period or just a career fair, that they have somewhere to keep their business cards, and or if they're collecting business cards from other people, that they have somewhere to keep that. And then we also had a ring light, which is like to take good photos with your phone, because many students do need to have professional photos taken, but sometimes they don't have that opportunity. So how can we help them best have that professional photo taken? And then we had some other just fun stuff in there. So cups. We also bought a first aid kit, because who doesn't need that, right? And then sunglasses. So there are some fun things in their giveaway bag, but we also try to be really intentional about this is a career event. And so how are we going to help them be successful at interviewing or going to different interviews or lunch interview? A lot of it was, you know, focused on that kind of stuff. Next slide. We also had a resource fair. Originally, it was going to be a resource career fair, and we were hoping to pull in more businesses than we were able to, but that was one of the pivot things that we did, where we were like, okay, we're not getting as many people signing up to be at our career fair, so let's pivot to some resources, because we know students often need community resources and they don't really know where to get those. I mean, if they meet with me or Melissa, they'll find that out, but in a group setting, it's good to give that information out. So we had American Gateways, which in Texas, they support like low cost legal. And sometimes it's free, sometimes it's really low cost. And so students, we often get that question, like, where can I go in San Antonio for low cost legal services? M Schools is a nonprofit in San Antonio that supports K through 12. But they also have a lot of gig work opportunities. It was started by a person who is undocumented. So they really support and have opportunities for some of our students to get employed with them. Catholic Charities was there. They have a lot of resources in San Antonio, in particular legal services. San Antonio has an immigration liaison, which is kind of, I've heard, kind of rare, and they actually support us in San Antonio and the work we do with our undocumented students at our campuses. They come to meetings with us. So there's a lot of different support that they have that people don't really know about. So we wanted them to be there. And then we brought in River City Federal Credit Union because they are a bank that supports undocumented students and helps them figure out a way to open up a bank account, but also to start their credit. CareLink in San Antonio is open to all Bexar County residents, regardless of your status. And so it's medical care. And so we'd like for them to be at our event so that they can explain how their families and themselves can get set up with healthcare in the city. And then two of the places that were more focused on career was Code the Dream and Undocu Professionals. So Undocu Professionals, they couldn't make it out, but one of their representatives who works with us at A&M San Antonio, one of our students, was there supporting them because we know a lot of students need to network and need to know about these other professional opportunities that are out there. And then Code the Dream has just been very, very supportive of the work that we do on our campus and offering support to our undocumented students with gig work. And they also are part of our internship grant too. So that's been very supportive. Next slide. I'll talk a little bit and then Melissa can share as well. We did a survey at the end. And that's our little word cloud of like what came out the most. And honestly, what was kind of shocking was the etiquette dinner was like the most popular thing. I think it was just popular for students to learn, like, you know, what do you do with your napkin? Which fork do you use? Like, do you get up when someone gets up at the table? When do you start eating? But here's some questions that we asked them. What is one thing you learned from this event that you'll be able to apply to your professional development? And we had formal etiquette. Someone said, I can fix my jaw for free. So they were having medical issues and they didn't realize that there were services for them. And then I learned so much about how to get my I-10 because our info session that happened after the panel was focused on what documents do you need, what tax professionals should you see, because there's free tax professionals in San Antonio that support this work, and making sure students could go to the free services, but if they were going to pay for services, who was actually a certified tax professional that you should be getting help from? So, and what documents do you need, and what kinds of things? So I think that was very helpful to our students. Melissa, do you want to talk about the second question?
Yes. So our second question is, what did they appreciate about the event? And they said the network, to be, with peers and organizations. I think, in the resource fair, they could kind of see how dreamer friendly these resources are here in San Antonio. And also just, with each other and working with each other. They enjoy the tour around campus. And I think that, again, was important because, with things that are going on, right? My students seeing how can they get from where they're at to Texas A&M San Antonio, but then to also leave our little bubble here at SAC and then see how friendly the university is and dreamer friendly. I think it was just important for them to also see the opportunity, right, of going for a higher education and career opportunities that they have, and not to give up. And so I think that was a really strong message of having. And so they really did. They enjoyed it. I hope we can do this again and collaborate and pull our resources. And then I think the next one is their students.
Yeah, so this is Obed, and he attended the event, and he is an A&M San Antonio student. He started at A&M in fall 23 as a TheDream.Us scholar. He's a first-year student, computer science major, and I'm going to let him talk about his experiences with the Stars Without Borders event that we had last semester.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Obed Valencia. Um, this event that happened in October was an event that I'd never attended. It was something that I learned a lot from. Thanks to this event, I got to network a lot with the panelists. And thanks to the panelists, I actually got offered an internship with Code the Dream. So I would have never imagined that would have happened if I never attended that event. Apart from that, I really the etiquette lunch was something that I never knew how to do. I'm Mexican, so like I eat tortillas with my hands. I didn't know how to use a knife. I didn't know how to use like the three knives, three spoons. I wasn't sure how to use all of that. I wasn't even sure. I didn't even know that I was supposed to stand up a certain way or get up a certain way. So honestly, this event helped me better like grasp how it means to like be business casual. I got to network a lot, and thanks to that event, I got to network with a little bit of San Antonio College, and I got inspired to create an organization here at A&M San Antonio, and it's going to be called the Dreamer Student Organization, and it's the first organization ever at A&M San Antonio. So honestly, if I could have the opportunity to go back and do this all over again, I would. I really enjoyed it. It was such a great experience attending it, and yeah, I really liked it.
Thanks, Obed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Obed. With that, we will pass it along to my colleague, Nicole Wesley.
All right, thanks, Chris. And thanks to our colleagues, Melissa and Kim, as well as our scholar, Obed, for sharing the implementation and impact on using the PC Career Development Fund on your campus. Our scholars now more than ever are wanting and needing tailored career supports that are inclusive. Some of our top career resources our scholars say that they need per our annual scholar surveys include our scholars understanding their career opportunities without work authorization and finding paid income opportunities, including paid internships and fellowships. Next slide. Knowing that paid inclusive opportunities are high on our scholars' career needs and hard for our scholars to access, we've created several non-employment based opportunities for partner colleges to sign up and participate in. These two programs are the Dream.Us Internship Funding Program and the Dream.Us Experiential Fellowship Program. Both programs are similar but a little different. To give a short synopsis on these programs, any partner college that signs up for one or both programs will have funds to create and manage an internship and/or fellowship program that is inclusive to your Dream.Us scholars, regardless of their work status. Each participating college is responsible for managing, running, and promoting the program. Each participating partner college would also need to identify 2 faculty or staff that serve as a point of contact for the program. And each partner college can receive up to $15,000 per program from the Dream.Us. So this means that if you're a partner college and you choose to sign up for both programs, your partner college can receive up to $30,000 total. $15,000 for the internships and $15,000 for the fellowship program to offer inclusive, paid, experiential learning opportunities. Next slide. So we launched both of these programs last year, and currently we have about 20 partner colleges participating in each program, but we want more partner colleges to sign up, receive funding, and offer these very important paid experiential learning opportunities to our scholars. So how do you sign up to apply and participate in one or both of these programs? You see on your slide here the following steps. is to review, we have a short concept paper for each program to give you an understanding of what are the requirements, what's the eligibility requirements for the scholars, the eligibility requirements for a fellowship or internship, and so forth. Also, it's very important to determine a primary point of contact and a secondary program point of contact. These can either be a faculty, a staff member that is well-versed in this program, that is promoting this program to the Dream.Us scholars, as well as organizations, nonprofits, small businesses that might be interested in hosting an internship on or off campus, or also promoting to faculty or staff members on campus to host a fellow. For the fellowship program, we do also ask that the partner college craft their own 1 to 2 page concept paper outlining their fellowship program specifically. So you would be crafting your own inclusive fellowship program. And then once you have all of those things together, you would fill out our participation application. The deadline to apply is towards the end of the spring semester, Friday, May 17th. So there is several months away, but we hope that you sign up as soon as you are able and ready. With that all said, if you have any questions, you are welcome to reach out to me. We do try to create a lot of great resources so that it is easy for our partner colleges to implement and manage on their own campus. Next slide, please. So now I'm happy to introduce our next guest speakers from Metropolitan State University of Denver, which is a participating partner college of both the internship and fellowship program. Steffi and Daniela are current TheDream.Us scholars who participated in these programs and will share their students' perspective with their fellowship and internship shortly. But first, I will pass it over to Gregor, who is the Director of Immigrant Services Program at MSU Denver, to discuss the implementation and impact of both the Dream.Us internship funding program and the fellowship program. So Gregor, take it away.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for the kind invitation and the overview. Thanks especially to the scholars, Steffi, and Daniela, who are here, and thanks to all the partner colleges who are taking the time to be here. As always, I'm going to give a really quick overview over the institution and then a little bit the Immigrant Services Program. Metropolitan State University of Denver is a 4-year public Hispanic serving institution. We have about 16,000 undergraduate students, 1,100 graduate students. Well over half of our students are first generation college students, and just about all of our students come directly from the state of Colorado. About 1 in 4 students use a language other than English once they leave campus. And what's pretty interesting, we serve the largest number of DACA undocumented students and TPS students in the state of Colorado by a long shot. About 500 DACA undocumented students attend school every semester. We have about 700 permanent residents, refugee, and asylee students. Next slide. Immigrant Services Program, we're kind of an interesting student support program. We've been around for a really long time, 35 years, and we're interesting in that we really are open to all students who are connected to the immigrant experience. We really, in my 8 years with the program, we have not turned a student away or a community member that has questions about higher education, that has questions about what's going on with during their time here at MSU Denver. There's 3 full-time staff, so we're kind of a small program, 4 to 5 student staff and peer mentors. All of us are first-generation college students, first-generation immigrants. And yeah, again, we're kind of unique in that we really say, we want to support all immigrant students and community members as they pursue a college degree. We have about 480 students who are part of the program. Over 70% of the students that are part of the program either have DACA or no status or have temporary protected status, and a little bit over 80% are Spanish-speaking students. Really, meeting with students is our bread and butter. So we had about 1,500 one-on-one appointments last year, but we also do a variety of workshops. We put on a DREAM graduation. We bring immigration attorneys to campus, and we work with donors who, for example, provide DACA renewal grants or specific scholarships. And we're, of course, incredibly fortunate to be a partner college for TheDream.Us. We also go to high schools, so we take some of the program participants and immigrant and undocumented students with us as they talk to their peers in high schools about college access. We find that that's a very good way to both get information out into the community about scholarships, but also to maintain a connection with the immigrant community in Denver and in Colorado. We've been a partner college since 2016 and currently have just a little bit under 200 active and enrolled scholars. Next slide, please. All right, let's talk a little bit about the internship and the fellowship program. So to give a couple numbers, a little bit of background, since fall 22, we have placed 15 scholars in internship positions. Some of those were on campus, but the majority of the internships that students pursued were off campus. And essentially, we ask students to find unpaid internships on or off campus. We also worked pretty closely with our career services program. It's called Classroom to Career Hub here on campus. And they, of course, provide help and counseling and support to students as they're looking for unpaid internships. And the off-campus internships that students have found really range, have a pretty wide range. So it's anything from hospitals, nonprofit service providers, some nonprofit translation and language access organizations, media outlets, arts collectives, engineering firms. So it's really a pretty wide range of internships that students have found. Essentially, and I think this is a good recommendation for any partner college that's exploring this, that's thinking about it. What's really worked well for us here on campus is to have a partnership, a very close partnership and sort of division of roles with the career services program. Again, Classroom to Career Hub, that's what it's called here. They do the support when it comes to finding an internship, and we do the support at Immigrant Services when it comes to promoting this opportunity. We also work closely with students who have questions about, what's an ITIN? How can I apply for it? As folks have to complete a W-9, we kind of review what's the purpose and how to complete a W-9. Thankfully, we have a free tax service here on campus that folks can access in order to get help with tax filings. Next slide, please. And then to talk a little bit about the fellowship program, as Nicole was saying, it's similar, but in some ways a little bit different from the internship program. Really, the difference with the fellowship program is that essentially our career services program solicited projects from across campus. You'll see some of those listed here in the flyer. And we pretty intentionally tried to focus a little bit on the academic side of the house. So specifically, our career services program asked different academic programs departments to submit research or project fellowships. Some of those are around data collection, data processing. We also had a fellowship for language conversation coordinator, essentially. So a student who got to see what it looks like to run a small project within the Modern Languages department. The Center for Visual Art, for example, which is an arts program here on campus, had a fellowship position for outreach engagement. So those programs would develop sort of the scope for a specific fellowship. They would identify sort of the start, the end time, the number of hours, who would be the contact person, and so on. And then those fellowships hosts were selected by Career Services. We listed them in a place where students could access that. Immigrant Services would take on the job of really promoting and meeting with students about these different fellowship opportunities. And just talking with students about, how does the payment work, the payment process. And again, what a lot of us found really, really interesting about this project is that it allowed us to engage with parts of campus, especially academic programs that we may not always have a lot of opportunity. And we could essentially go to them and say, there's funding for amazing fellows that we can utilize to really get you some amazing scholars to work on projects just in a way that we haven't really been able to do before on campus, and that was really, really well received. And we really credit this program and the fellowship program with just much deeper collaboration across campus departments and programs. And with that, I'm gonna move on to the next slide. And this is a great time to hear a little bit from our scholars. And first we're going to hear from Daniela. Daniela, you were an intern at Culturally Arts Collective. My question to you is, can you tell us a little bit about your internship and also why you were seeking an internship at this point in your academic career?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So my internship, I want to say, was a little bit different because I worked for a nonprofit. They essentially helped upcoming artists be known, and we would promote their artwork, and everything was done through social media. We would also look for artists, and we would let them know about opportunities in the art community that were coming up. And I got a different sense of working with social media. I had social media before, but everything was personal. And now I was taught to view social media in a business way. And so I learned a lot of things from that. I learned to pay attention to certain things that I wouldn't have done before. So even though my internship was short, I learned a lot during that time that I was there. Why I was looking for an internship, I think for me, I figured that it was time. I thought it was time already to look for work, to really, because I didn't have work before. I didn't even think that was an opportunity for me in the future. So I thought an internship would be perfect for me. And so I felt it. I felt it that it was time for me to start looking. And I was really eager to use all my knowledge and all my skills that I learned in school to really just to start using them in the workforce. And so, yeah, I just felt it that it was time to start looking.
Fantastic. Thank you, Daniela. And a follow-up question, how would you describe the impact of this internship on you, on your career development, and maybe how you're thinking about your time after graduation?
So I really enjoyed the experience. I never thought that I was going to, but now I can add it to my resume, which is something really important that I know now is really important. And also it gave me reassurance. It gave me reassurance that I chose the right career for myself, that I was on the right path. And I know a lot of students that are in college right now, they really don't know if that's the path or the career that they want to go to. And so an internship for me, it really helped me discover that this was the right path that I was choosing, that it was perfect for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Daniela, for sharing your thoughts and your experience. And next slide, please. Thank you. And finally, we'll hear from a scholar who took on a fellowship, specifically here on campus. And Steffi, I've got the same question for you. In a few words, can you please describe your fellowship and why you were looking for a fellowship?
Everyone, I had the amazing opportunity to be a research fellow, and what the fellowship involved was me assisting with the preparation and submission of the R&B, the Institutional Review Board, and for the project. So, it involved me like learning about first different research methods, and then creating surveys to give out for students to collect data. I also attended weekly meetings with my supervisor and the team to work with like to work on new tasks and also get support if needed. And I started looking for internships slash fellowships because I am on my third year of college, and while it was difficult for me, it was also intimidating for me because I've always been a little reserved with my immigration status. So I I knew that going to Gregor and asking questions about it, questions to him, it was safe to do so. So when I learned about this amazing fellowship program, I was happy to say the least.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steffi. And a final question to you. How would you describe the impact of the fellowship that you did with the Gender Institute for Teaching and Advocacy? And yeah, how you would describe the impact on your career development, how you thought about it?
I gained really valuable skills, research skills specifically, which I will use when I will be going to graduate school for psychology. And possibly conducting my own research in the future. And I became more confident in being able to have this experience, have it in my resume, and basically having it as a backbone for future opportunities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Steffi. Thank you so much, Daniela, for lending your voice, lending your experience. The very final things I'll say before we can maybe address some questions as a group here is it was really interesting when we started in fall with the internship program. It really the interest took some time to build up, right? And we had to promote both internships and later on the fellowships across campus to scholars. But once it sort of gained foothold, if you will, once word got out that this opportunity is available for these for stipends that go to interns and fellows with Dream.Us, there's really massive interest and huge uptake. So I was honestly surprised by just how quickly folks reached out after the first or second semester that we introduced it. And they were like, I heard about this from a scholar. I heard about this from a friend here on campus that's also on Dream.Us. And the academic programs themselves also really started to get very excited. And essentially we got more and more applications as time went on. So I think that speaks volumes to really how impactful this program is and how thoughtful it is for Dream.Us to provide those kinds of funds to do something we haven't been able to do on our campus before. And with that, we can go to the next slide, which mostly just talks about announcements.
Thank you so much, Gregor. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our presenters today, to our PCs who have implemented this amazing programming on your campuses to properly support our scholars and really provide them the resources needed for them to do career development and think about what their futures are after graduation. So thank you so much. I also want to just give a huge thank you to our scholars for sharing your stories today. Again, you guys are so courageous. I always applaud you all when you do this. I hope that our partner colleges can really sort of see how this can support their scholars on their own campuses and really resonate with your voices and what can be done on their campuses with the implementations of these types of programs on their campuses. And just again, want to reiterate, we here at TheDream.Us are here to support not only our scholars, but our partner colleges in providing these systems and these programs for your campuses, right? So reach out to us. We're working with you. Like, let us know how we can get these resources and services better into the hands of you and into our scholars. I'll stop there because I can just give thanks for days. But before we go into announcements, why don't we open up the floor for questions from any of our presenters or from our scholars? Any PCs, please feel free to raise your hands. You can unmute yourself and ask any questions you have of any of our panelists regarding any of these programs and how you may want to implement them on your own campuses. Don't be shy. I know there's questions out there. Why don't we start with one that was already in the chat, which I think you answered already, Nicole, but why don't we just open it up for everyone to hear it in case they didn't see it in the chat. So the question is, the $15,000 from the Dream.Us to the PCs goes to students, or are these organizations paying the students?
Yeah, great question. So for partner colleges that participate and sign up for either the internship or the fellowship program, they are eligible to receive up to $15,000 for each program. How that funding works is the Dream.Us, we always hold on to that to your funding. The PC will never see that funding, and we use the funding to pay Parker Dewey once you have interns and scholars that are participating in this program. Parker Dewey is one of our partners that works with us in our internship and fellowship program. And they're also, we use them as a payment disbursement mechanism to also pay scholars roughly halfway through and at the end of their experiential learning opportunity. And then also we highly encourage our partner colleges to work with organizations on or off campus to host a fellow or an intern and to create a relationship with your local community on and off campus.
Thank you, Nicole. And I see Michael has his hand raised. Michael, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if you could see my brown hand. So my follow-up question to that, I'm new to the NAU team, and the university is a new partner college, and we've been having internal conversations about how to support students with work. And so this is a great opportunity. I'm really glad to be here. My question, so is this an opportunity for a one semester for a student, or for a student does a fellowship one semester and then an internship the second semester, or a multi-academic year internship? Like, are there any rules for how the student can participate in these programs?
Yeah, that's another great question, Jay Michael. So $15,000 may sound like a lot, but depending on how many scholars you have at your institution, it can get used up fairly quickly. So we do encourage that this funding be used for an individual scholar once in the internship program, once in the fellowship program, so that it allows for more scholars to participate in these opportunities. And you can learn more about that too if you check out that link that was shared and review our concept paper that goes over some of those requirements.
Thank you. Great question, Michael. Any other questions from for our scholars, for our panelists? Don't be shy. All right, so if there are no questions, I will move forward with our announcements. Again, a huge thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you so much for presenting, for sharing your stories, and for being a part of this amazing program. Um, Quick announcements before we head out, because I do see that we are coming up on the hour. We are in that time of the year again, graduation stalls and pins. Graduations are coming up right around the corner. Please use the registration link to let us know how many stalls and pins that you will be needing for your graduates this year. You can do an estimate, that's totally fine. Remember, we only do this call once a year. So let us know what you estimate your number of graduates are going to be, not only for this spring, but if you have a summer graduation and a fall one, please make sure to include that in your request for this year. The request is now open. You can actually do it today if you want to, but it will close on the 27th. So you have a full month to submit your requests. I do ask that everyone goes in and just let us know whether if you need your stalls and pins, how many you need, who that should be going to. All that information you will be able to upload yourself once you click into the link to the Google form, and you can place all the information as to where those stalls will be able to go to. If you do not have scholars or you have stalls left over from last year and don't need them, I still would really appreciate you going into the forum and just letting us know that you don't need stalls this year, so that at least we know that this is something that you actually don't need, and it wasn't that you just haven't had the time to be able to go in and upload and update the information. So again, that closes out on March 27th. Please do it before then. I have a couple more announcements, but I do see that we have a hand raised. So Gabriela, let me know, what are your questions?
Okay, CUNY, we only have graduations one time, spring. But last semester I have students graduated. Can I add their names? Because some students, they already done for the program, done with the school, but they want to participate in the graduation ceremony. I can request for them, even they are not anymore in my semester. They're already out of the college.
Yes. So if they graduated like last year but didn't receive a stall, you can definitely add them for this year. We want to make sure that all our graduates and all our alum do get a stall. You don't list names on the form. You just need to let us know how many stalls you will actually need.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So a couple of other reminders. The National Scholarship Round closes this week, February 29th. So be on the lookout for that. We will be closing out the application, and then the review process will begin. Another thing happening this week is immigration Q&A. So on February 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing a session for our scholars on immigration Q&As. We actually have a new attorney that we are going to be working with, Sui Chung. She is an immigrations attorney. She is amazing, and she will be able to be in the session live and answer any of our scholars' immigration questions, with some generality, of course. But she is awesome, and while it is student facing, we do recommend that if you can attend, if our PCs can attend, that you do so, and really sort of see the types of questions that our scholars are asking about their immigration status, about their DACA status. And so it's always great for you to be in the know about what those questions are, how students are being advised to move forward through those different processes. And then finally, on February 29th as well. February 29th is like a busy day for us, but it's a lot going on. Our EVR process closes, and so you have been seeing those announcements come out. these last few weeks and these last few days. I am a little like, it's after Valentine and I'm a little brokenhearted because I still have 18 partner colleges that have not submitted their EBRs. And it breaks my heart every time I see that number is still so high with the February 29th deadline coming across. So please, please, if you have not submitted your EVR already, please do so immediately so that we can avoid any delays in payments going out to your campus and clearing your scholars' tuitions and providing them those much needed stipends. So that is the end of my announcements. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you again to our panelists and our scholars for attending and presenting. And we wish you all a great, great week. Ciao.
Thank you.